craft room. My name's Julianne Richards and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in southern Tasmania. Oh dear, I'll just make sure my volume is okay. That was a bit of a sigh, wasn't it? Didn't mean to be a sigh. Just trying to work things out, get settled in. Made a couple of changes to the cards that I'm making. Oh, okay, so the volume's working, we can say that. Made a couple of changes to the card I'm going to show you, or added a couple of cards. So we're going to make 4 cards together today, just to show you how to get the most out of a 6x6 piece of designer series paper, or my take on it. Basically, I was looking around for some inspiration to make some cards with this with a 6x6 paper, and I was seeing people using tiny bits of it, which would have basically left the rest of the piece not wasted, but not used, to be popped away in the scrap box and forgotten forever. So I thought, no, I'm going to dedicate a video to using as much of these 6x6 pieces as I possibly can. Not a one sheet wonder class, so don't worry too much about that. They are actually individual different cards, so I just didn't like the waste that I was seeing when I was looking at some of the cards that were out there. I don't know about you guys, but I'm finding it really hard to get get inspired, to get motivated to get into the craft room at the moment. I love some of the papers in the current mini catalogue, but I've got to say some of the other stuff just leaves me a wee bit cold. I'm not really sure how you guys are, the guys who buy Stampin' Up! And have seen the mini catalogue feel about it. As I say, I love some of the papers, and there's a couple of the stamp sets like the Surfing Santa that I really, really like, but some of it is sort of just not hit the mark with me this time round. I'm not saying that's going to be forever. I'm just saying this particular catalogue hasn't really inspired me as much as previous ones, and hopefully future ones as well. Just as a little aside, I do have some other distractions in my life at the moment, which means that's probably one of the reasons I'm not getting right into the catalogue as much as possible. And I thought I would make a little slideshow. You can tell I've got too much time on my hands. Little slideshow of some of the things that have been distracting me in my life at the moment. So just hang in, have a look. There's only about 4 pictures. I make it sound like I've written you a whole presentation, but no, just while I was playing with my streaming service, I realised I can pop this together. enough of that. Let's get on with some crafting. Thanks for staying with me while I did all that. I was just, as I say, wanted to get all that across to you all before we start crafting, and I probably won't mention any of them again, so you've got the information you need. Okay, so this is, as I say, this is the Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. I really like some of the papers from the current mini catalogue. This one has lots of autumny colours, because obviously they're coming into autumn in the Northern Hemisphere, although we're coming into spring here. But I have a feel I really just love some of the scenes. I love a lovely landscapey sort of paper, some sunsets and things like that, some gorgeous field flowers, and as I say, some more things just like that, just lovely colours from the country colours and things, which is really, really nice. So, and I don't know about you, I struggle with 6x6 papers because I tend to have lots of stuff left over. I don't like the waste that's involved, and that's probably the limitations of my imagination that brings that out. But I did decide to basically sit down and work out how I could make some cards and waste as little as possible. So the first card I came up with is this one here. So this is a gorgeous sort of, I think they are sunflowers. If somebody else could tell me differently, maybe they're sunflowers, maybe they're cornflowers, maybe they're just plain to be daisies. I'm assuming I've taken them to be sunflowers because I just planted some sunflowers in the greenhouse and they're coming up so beautifully. So anyway, I'm inspired by sunflowers. Colours that I probably wouldn't normally pop together on in a normal card making. It's gone away from our pinks and blues and things, so it's actually crushed curry and mossy meadow, and they're two colours that bring out the gorgeous golds from the designer series paper. I actually made this, sort of adapted this card from one I saw online. It's a Z fold obviously, but it's got a little gate there as well. So and you cut the paper once and then you basically use pretty much all of it just across there like that. So I love a good landscape card that you can get the whole feel of that right across the card. So it opens up like that. In the spirit of using what I have, I decided to bring out my celebrating sunflowers. So we'll use that one as well. So I've coloured that little sunflower there just to give the look, and I've used the sentiment there. So let's give a go. I'm not going to use the other sheet, another sheet of this sunflower paper. I'm going to use one of the other designs from the pack, and we'll do this. Now, ladies who usually join me for my Come Craft With Me sessions, I've decided that we're going to use this design on that next session in October. So have a look at the event for the October Come Craft With Me, and you'll see that I've put the measurements there so you can get ready for that. Okay, so this one is gorgeous. It's got all the sort of purples and greens there as well. I don't know what they're supposed to be, just something really pretty. But I've used a combination of garden green and Highland heather here for the card base. So that's what I'm using there. So again, we've got the Z. So basically it's square. I think it's 5 3/4. I'm not going to bother going through the measurements too much. As I say, they are in the event, and I'll also post them on the in the description as well. But it comes out as a 5 3/4 inch square card with the Z there as well. So we've got some layers. So the contrast, the main colour is Highland heather. The contrast colour is garden green. Okay, so let's just get this started. So the layer of garden green is going to go on the inside. One for the inside. I think this is 6 mil, 1/4 of an inch, 6 mil smaller than our card, so 5.5 square, which I think is 14 centimetres exactly. That goes on the inside there. And then we've got a piece of white that goes there, off to one side, and then this strip. So basically I've taken my 6x6 piece of designer series paper and chopped it in two. So this is 1.5 inches wide, and this is the rest. I think it must be 4, close to 4. Anyway, so that goes there. As I say, see the event for the measurements. So this little strip here is going to go down the side of that. And if I've measured those right, they should butt up against each other pretty much perfectly, which they do. Okay, so that's going there, and this is going here. I thought I'd glued that down already. Obviously, I'm not concentrating. Okay, so there and there. So that's the inside of this one. So when that closes down and we pop this one on the front, the two pieces of the designer series paper will form a continuous line, so it looks like they're just one piece. Okay, so we'll pop this paper onto the green. Got pretty tone on the back of these Splendid Autumn designer series paper as well. So who have we got on? I can see lots of people on. We've got Robin and Deb. Good morning, Deb, and Sal, and Maureen and Evelyn. Libby, hey Libby, and Donna. Hey Donna. Thanks for joining me. Hope you didn't get too put off by my slideshow. As I say, I'm finding it very hard to get into the craft room because there's just so much happening out and about in the world at the moment, or in my world. Okay, so I'm going to pop this one. So it's just going to be glued onto the left-hand side there, so I just need some glue on the sort of 2/3 of it, like that. And we bring it in. So I did adapt this card because I wanted to use, as I say, most of the sheet of the 6x6, and I wanted that continuous. I actually did think about it as well. It might be nice if I actually popped another line in it there and had it in as a 3-panel card, but I might try that when we do come craft with me later on. So there we are. So that's, you can see pretty much that whole scene of that designer series paper. You open it up and you've got the inside there. So let's do some sort of sentiment with the other one, the original one, where I was using the Celebrate Sunflowers. Where is it gone? Oh, here it is. I did some white heat embossing here, which I might do again for this one as well. So I've just got a little piece of Highland Heather. Will I use Let's Celebrate You? Why not? We'll do that. We'll do the Let's Celebrate You, since I'm using we're celebrating use what you have. We'll use Celebrate Sunflowers. Retired, sadly, but I think probably, yeah. Have you got Celebrating Sunflowers in your craft room that you refuse to part with? I know I have, as you can tell, because here it is. Was one of my favourites and continues to be. Okay, so Let's Celebrate You. You can tell it's a wee bit not sticky on the back there. Let's see how that, make sure that goes on there. Where's my buddy? Here we go. Use my embossing buddy. Let's hope I left enough of that. Let's do it that way. Push it down that way. Oh, no. You just decided to be not sticky for me today. Hang on. Got to be a different way. I might have to deal with that one later. I might pop it, give it a bit of a wipe. Let's do something else. Thanks a bunch. Let's use the other one that's roughly the same. Hopefully it's a bit stickier. There we are. Thanks a bunch. So this is a thank you card, this one. Here we are. So that's my Versamark ink, and we'll bring in the white embossing folder and my little tray. As I say, a couple of cards we're doing, so grab a coffee. I know I've got mine. Here we are. Last time we did a Zoom, it was in the evening and afternoon. My husband Steve bought me a coffee because was it a coffee? It was a drink. It was a cup of tea, something like that. He bought to me because I think he heard us having such a lot of fun laughing. I think he wanted to see what all the fun was about and felt he was missing out. but he's not here at the moment to bring me another one. I'm just finding my little brush. Here we go. Just a little brush there. I've got a bit of extra. So there we are. So that's my white. I'll just grab my egg gun. Sticky dot on the sentiment. That's a good idea. Might just try and give it a bit of a clean off first. I think it's got a bit of dust or embossing powder or something on the back of it. It's tricky with the foam ones. They don't tend to like. I know I've got some adhesive there that I can re-stickify it with, but that's a good idea just on the for a fix on the go. A sticky dot on the back. Here we are. Clean that up a little bit later. Okay, so there's our sentiment on there. I'm going to use the same, just bear with me, the same dye that I used on the original card. Now this die is from the Regal Winter bundle, which is in the current mini catalogue. It's one that I do have. I didn't buy very much from it, but I did buy the Regal Winter. It is quite a big die, as you can see. It's a lot bigger than the cardstock that we're using, but I'm going to actually cut it down a bit. I'll grab my little mini machine. So I'll cut it first so that it has the right distance above, and I'll come back in with a second cut and reduce it down from the bottom. It's a great little tip when your dies are that wee bit too big. You want to retain the shape, but you don't want as much of the width. Okay, so that's the shape at the top that I want to keep. I'll bring in the die again, line it up, get rid of some of that. It's a cute little die actually. It cuts it in two bits. It cuts a little ring the same sort of size around the outside, so you can use it to layer up different colours of cardstock. I just want to make that straight and line it up with the groove. About there. If I straighten that up, line it up, so you can see, line it up with the grooves on the back, so I know I'm just continuing the same line. Yep. Pop that back through. Got AFL Grand Final today. That's for anyone watching outside Australia. That's our football code that we lots of people follow. I know my mum's a mad AFL fan, so we always head down there for afternoon tea and to watch the game. My mum is, as you saw, she's a tiny wee little lady. She's only about 4'10" and hardly any weight to her. But when the grand final comes around, if it's her team playing, she can come out with some language that would make your hair grey. She's yeah. My dad always used to sort of go mad at her when we were watching the AFL. Especially if the kids were around, because Mum would be calling them for everything under the sun. But yeah, I'm sure she'll be much more serene today. Okay, so that little sentiment, I'm going to pop it down there, and then the edge of it will overlap a wee bit when the card's on display. So there we are. So I've reduced the size of that sentiment box with running it through twice. So that's there. And on the inside, we've got Thanks a Bunch, So I'll go, the other one is Know That You Are Loved. So I'll pop that on there on the inside, and I'll use some, I might go darker than Highland Heather. I'll go Gorgeous Grape. Where's my Gorgeous Grape? Where are you, Gorgeous Grape? There it is. And I won't put the sunflower this time because these aren't sunflowers, they're something different. So we'll just go with the sentiment and leave it at that. Okay, so there we are. So that is, as I say, that card uses pretty much all of a 6x6 piece. It's a nice big square card. It'll fit a like 15 centimetre square envelope. And that's really nice. I like that one. So as I say, ladies, if you're joining me for Come Craft with me, start thinking about the paper you can use and how you're going to decorate it, because that will be our Come Craft with me card. Okay, so that's one card from one sheet. So let's see how we go with another sheet. See if we can get some extra cards out of that. So for this one, I'm going to use the other. I actually only have half a pack of this paper left, so I'm going to use the sunflowers, the other piece of sunflowers that I've got. And we're going to try and get 3 cards out of this. So the main card, I'll put that one away because that's what we're going to use, the scraps. The main card is, I'm going to use the little sunflowers, and I've cut 2 pieces of the Designer Series paper. One is 3 inches high by 3.5 inches long. Now, when I was looking on Pinterest for some ideas with this, I found a card where a lady had cut it 3.5 by 3.5. Now, the thing is that you cut that from a 6x6 piece of cards, Designer Series paper, you're really only going to get one of that particular card from the sheet. You're going to have 2.5 by 2.5 trim, so you can only get one card out of it. So by reducing it to 3 inches high, I'm actually going to get 2 exactly the same cards and a nice strip left over at the side as well, which I can also use. Okay, so what I've done here is I'm going to use the colours that I used in my original card, the Mossy Meadow and the Crushed Curry. I've got a Mossy Meadow card base. This is going to be a landscape card. So I'll score that. So that's my normal size card base, 5.5 by 4 1/8. Then I've got a 3, I think it's 3. 3 by, no, it must be less than 3 because I cut it down because, 2 3/4 wide piece of crushed curry. And I've cut the little piece of Designer Series paper down into some strips. So it's 1 1/4, 1, 3/4 and half. So that's the 3.5 inch piece of Designer Series paper, and I've cut it down. So 3 inches high, and that's 1 1/4, 1, 3/4 and half. Okay, so then you cut it along that way so that it maintains your little landscapey picture there. So what I'm going to do is add those, sort of the same sort of distance, onto our strip of crushed curry. Here we are. So I'm going to add those there. So they do overlap a little bit top and bottom, so don't put the glue all the way to the top or the bottom. Just same distance, leaving a little bit of a gap on the left hand and the right hand side. I'll do the left and the right one first so I can then make the others fit properly. Yeah, make sure that's straightish and the same distance either end there. And then I'll put these other ones in. So we're lining up that image so it's got gaps in it, but it looks like it's a continuous picture. Well, the glue is still a little bit wet. I can just fine tune that so that they are lined up the same. There we are. It's pretty good. Use my grid paper to make sure they're all straight. That's it. There we are. So you can just see those little bits of crushed curry through. I'm going to add that to the front of the card. Now I thought maybe I'll do some tone on tone stamping here onto our mossy meadow, just to give that a little bit of something. As I said, I'm celebrating my sunflowers by lovely fat old friend. So there's a leaf here. I wonder where my stickers are for this one. I've had it for so long. Stickers are missing. So I'll just use a leaf in the mossy meadow, and I'll just go around and do just a leaf around the outside. Doesn't have to be too far into the middle because that's going to be taken by our designer series paper. Just around edge. Here we are. Love a bit of tone on tone. Bring in our little panel here. Yeah, no, that's definitely needed there, just to take a bit of that blankness off that mossy meadow. Glue this on. Like that. And for sentiment, I thought some nice clean white would be nice just across there. So it's just sort of a long skinny sentiment that sits across the front there. It's a matter of thinking something. I don't think thanks a bunch will actually fit in that width. Maybe not. I've already cut my strip because I had some strips left. So let's find something else that will fit in that. What about this one? This is Sentimental Park. It has some nice little slim sentiments. This one's Let's Celebrate. Yep, that one will fit. Let's do that. And that's sort of a nice general sentiment. We can make it anything. Pop a birthday inside or something like that. It doesn't matter. It could be any celebration. There we are. So let's celebrate. And with some dimensionals. Well, I've got little ones. Here we go. There's some big ones here. So this is a half-inch wide, so it's 1.3 centimetres, and it's 5 inches long. Not quite sure what 5 inches it is. 13 point something centimetres. There we are. And again, in the spirit of using what I've got our gorgeous little birds and dragonflies gold bling here. I thought we could have a dragonfly or two on there. So there is the first card of that series. Now, that was 3 inches high, so logically I have another one which is also the rest of that piece, so that's 3 inches high as well, so 3 by 3.5. So chopping that one down, I can do another one exactly the same. Okay, so that's the second card there from that. So that all that it leaves is a strip 2 inches, what is it? Yeah, 2 inches wide, so 3.5, yeah. So a 2.5 inch strip is all we've got left there of that designer series paper. As you can see, I've taken part there, and that's the whole sheet there. So I'm going to make another one of those little diorama cards with that. We've got just this piece here that we want to use. So I thought we'd just make a general sort of normal portrait card. Again, I've got my mossy meadow and I have normal size card base, and then a panel here which is 1/8 of an inch or 3 mils shorter than smaller than the card base, and I've die cut embossed half of it with the fern embossing folder. I was after something sort of organic, something leafy, and I thought the ferns would be really, really nice. But I only embossed half of it because the remaining, I'm going to stick the remaining piece of cardstock to there. So just like that. So I'm just going to stick that, and I trim that down a wee bit. So I'm going to lose a little bit. So trim that down to the same width, same size as the layer. I don't want to lose that end. I'll lose this end. A tiny bit coming off there. That's all we're going to have left over of that whole sheet. I'm going to glue that on there. I'm thinking on my feet here, do I put some ribbon on it? I'm not quite sure. I don't think it's really a ribbony sort of look because it's got that sort of nature and earthiness to it. I don't think ribbon is a huge I don't think ribbon is a huge add to this particular design. Pop that onto our card base like this. And we'll do a sentiment on a piece of, I thought maybe complementary colour. I thought we would use the crushed curry for our sentiment this time. I have a little piece of crushed curry here that I was going to use. Where are you? Okay, you're not here. Oh, everything went on the floor. That's a little piece of designer series paper left there. Okay, that's all right. I'll use this. This is a card base that I made that I'm not going to use, so I'll use that. It's less of waste. So I'll use that. So we'll stick with our sunflowers, our celebrating sunflowers. Here we are. We might try the little trick. Let's try the trick with the glue dot to make it stick. Where was it? Have I lost it? It's fallen off and gone forever. Up there. I should have put it back in the box. Here we go. Let's celebrate you. We'll do that one since that's the one that doesn't want to stick. Let's do the glue dot trick. Here's my glue dots. So as I say, I will pop some adhesive on this later to fix the problem permanently. But let's try, as suggested, a glue dot. It's so unsticky that the glue dot doesn't want to stick to it. Stay on there, you. Here we go. One at this end as well. long as that then stays on the block, life will be good. Yep, good job. Good. Who was that suggested that? You put tear tape. Yeah, tear and tape. Yeah, I'm going to go for a permanent solution and get to that after we finished. Didn't realise it was going to fall off while we were crafting. Where's my... Here we go. So let's celebrate you. Again, I'm going to white heat emboss it. Yeah. Now I'll trim this down just to see what sort of size I want it. Part of me thinks I could cut it out, but I don't want to risk that live. It's always a bit of a risk when you're chopping things down live, so we won't do that. I'll just trim it down. I'll grab a die actually. What have I got here? I want stylish shapes. Okay, so I'll use stylish shapes, and I think this one will fit. Pretty much close. Yep. Let's use that. Could do the trick with this one again by cutting it down, but we'll use the stylish shapes and then I only have to go through once, which is always a bonus. No, that's too close. Hang on. I'll go layering nested. Is it nested essentials? Look at that nested essentials. You get to see the whole craft room today. Nested essentials. This one might work. Yep, that one's better. So we'll pop that aside and we'll use nested essentials instead. You can tell I didn't think too far ahead with this one. Yep, that's perfect. See how that fits just nice. Can you see? Yeah, oh, you can sort of see. Perfect. Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes. I like. Yep, we'll definitely go there. Some dimensionals on the back. And now I've decided to not put any ribbon. I'm sort of regretting that choice. I think a ribbon actually might have been nice, like a sort of an earthy colour, like a cream or something. But anyway, that's all right. I'm not a big natural ribbon user, so we'll survive. Pop that there. And again, I might bring in some of our gold birds. I've only got birds left this time, so we'll do birds. There we are. Okay, so that's that. I do have a little panel for the inside. I already chopped that. Yeah. And on the inside, I thought I would use, in the crushed curry, congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful. I actually used this card when this stamp set when my team members promote to the next level, because I think congratulations on reaching a whole new level of wonderful is just a perfect saying for that. There we are. And on the original, on one of the original cards, I used the really cute little sunflower from it as well. So we could go on and do that as well, but I won't do that now, just to get it over and done with and finished. Okay, so there we are. So we've got that one used the strip off the side. We've got that one that used a 3-inch high piece, and we've got the same size piece, so we can make another one of that with this piece, and then we've got that strip there, and we've basically used the whole piece of 6x6. So from 2 pieces of 6x6, I've actually got 4 cards, and 4 sort of really pretty cards as well. So that's really pleasing. I'm glad I had a look at that and tried to fix it so that we could get as many cards as possible from that 6x6. Okay, so hopefully you enjoy that. I'm going to make that extra one now, and I'll pop a picture of it up on my website so you can see it. But there are our cards that we've made with our Splendid Autumn Designer Series paper. Hopefully you like those. Grab that one. As I say, I do love some of the paper from the current mini catalogue, even though maybe I'm struggling a bit with some of the stamps and dies as well. But Design Series paper definitely a highlight of the catalogue. Okay, I think that's probably enough for me today. I'm going to go and get myself tidied up and get ready to pop down to Mum's for the grand final. Have a great weekend, everyone, and stay safe. And I will see you all again next week.